Hello again, folks. Welcome back to the channel. This is American Hussar Gaming, and I am Hussar. Well, it has finally happened. The day that many of us have been waiting for so long finally is upon us, and that is that Starfield is here. Well, it is here for those of us who paid to have it be here early, but it'll be here soon enough for the rest of everybody as well. So anyway, should you buy this game? Well, let me give you a couple of impressions so far from my about 12 hours of playthrough, and then you can make up your mind. There are some aspects of it, for example, the gun modifications and things. Like you can, in Fallout 4, you can change receivers and modify and tweak, grips and things. You really don't have that much capability so far to do that sort of thing. I don't know if they're going to add it in eventually, but it's not here currently. That being said, there's still plenty of modifications you can do to weapons. And in fact, every single one of the sub games of this game, which are, crafting and research, habitat building, base building rather, spaceship building, and shoot, there's another one. Anyway, I'll think of it. They're all lengthy sub-games that have a fairly steep learning curve. Once you know how they work, it's easy, but it's not intuitive right off the bat. For example, in starship building, in order to see any of the parts, you have to click on an empty space next to your ship in order to see it. That being said, there's only a few things that kind of make you go, that I don't really care much about. That modification being one of them. Also, when you're if you get to pick 3 traits at the beginning of the game for your character, I feel like there's not a lot of variation between those traits. You only get, I think there's maybe a dozen of them. No, sorry, I double checked real quick. There are 17 traits. You get 3 of them at a time, and that might seem like 3 of them per character rather. And while 17 might seem like a lot, when it comes right down to it, I feel like, if I want to make, I was trying to make a basis for a rogue's, maybe pirate playthrough. And I felt like there wasn't a lot of different variation there for that. That being said, the game is visually beautiful. It's a gorgeous looking game. They've done a really good job of making the universe exciting and expansive. I've included one little spoiler here. I've got a walkthrough of Neon City that I'm going to throw up on the screen here real quick. It's gorgeous, and each city has its own distinct flavor. New Atlantis reminds me a lot of Starfleet of San Francisco in the Starfleet universe. I haven't been to the others yet, but I've seen pictures of them or videos of them, and they all have similar characteristics. All of their characters, all of their own. Now, going into this game, don't expect it to be like as genre-defining and world-changing as Skyrim was. There's only going to ever be one Skyrim, right? There's only ever going to be one Witcher 3. You can't catch lightning in a bottle like that again. But this game feels like a generational improvement of both Fallout 4 and Skyrim. So the gunplay and the modifications and things are based on Fallout 4. The gunplay is much, much better, as you may be able to see. Even though I'm a terrible shot, and hopefully this video will show you, you can see for yourself how well the gameplay is for shooters. For shooting, rather. And it feels like they built upon the knowledge of Skyrim, like they went, well, if we had known Skyrim was going to be around for damn near 20 years by the time the next game is released, then we're going to make it wide. Skyrim doesn't feel, it only feels a little bit wide, if you want to think about that. Like, the world is big and there's a lot you can do of it, but there's only, and even though there's a lot of quests, there's only so many you can do. Well, the way that your character is leveled up in this game has been redone as opposed to Fallout 4 and Skyrim, in that, and what's more like Fallout 4, in that you have to have skill points in things before you can do the thing better. Unlike Skyrim, where you just did the thing and it got better, which is, I personally like that a lot, but I understand why they didn't do that. That being said, you have to have a very wide range of skill points and skills to level up to get to the things you might want to do with your character. So if you want to get into all the crafting, you're going to have points in and level up all of the different skills. So for example, one of the skills is gastronomy, that lets you cook food. Inside that skill is 4 levels to it, requiring 4 skill points. So when you open up your character menu and you look at the skills, every one of those patches has 4 levels to it. So you can see it gets really, you really have to dial into what you want to do before you really commit to spending all your points. It has a massive amount of quests. I am currently level 17, and I've got about 25 different quests of different flavors in my quest menu, and I've completed about half of that again. So I've completed about a dozen. There are like little miscellaneous side quests that are called activities, and then each one, like each corporation, like you can join Ryujin Corp. That has its own set of missions and things to do to advance it. United Colonies has its own. Freestar Collective has its own. Then you have the main quest line, which is where the Lodge figures in. And that has a whole bunch of quests to it as well. Just about every character you run across in this game, that like if they own a business or has something, they will pop a quest for you. So it's designed to be played for a long time. This game isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. But that being said, the city design is beautiful. Like, when you first go to Whiterun, it's really cool looking. It's really impressive to look at. But after a while, you know, you think it's billed as being this, how big of a city it's supposed to be in the game, and it's, you know, unless you're using a mod, it's only got maybe, what, 20 people in it? These cities are massive feeling. They're super populated, to the point that sometimes it's annoying how many people are in them. But that's a good thing, because Skyrim and the cities in Fallout 4 felt empty. Now I get why Fallout 4 was supposed to feel empty, because it's a post-apocalyptic world. But, you know, 200 years post-apocalypse, you would think there'd be more people. Like, you know, we're 200 some odd years post our revolution, and look how many people we have and how much the country's changed in that time span. And you would think Fallout 4 would have changed a little bit more. And I know why they're doing it, but still, that's kind of, you can see the point I'm trying to make. But if you want to think of it this way, like, each city has a neighborhood, and those are equally as well populated and have interesting locations and things. So, and it's very natural. You can walk from, in fact, you have to walk from one end to another across the map. And when you do, you run into these neighborhoods. So you wind up feeling like you were in a truly major metropolitan city. Speaking about walking, that's one of my quibbles with this game to this point, is that there's no automatic travel. There's like not a car or a horse equivalent. You just walk everywhere. So if you want to take off exploring on Mars, for example, you can do that, but you're going to walk everywhere, and that can, you know, you're going at the speed of walk, so you're not making very good time. So you're limited to where you can walk to, and it gets kind of boring after a while, just walking and walking and walking. And I really wish, I hope one of the next mods they put in is to add a rover vehicle, and especially with like a rover module for your ship, so you can park it there. There are currently only 4 characters you can romance in the game. One spoiler alert here is one of them is Sarah Morgan, who you encounter very early on in the game. There are 3 others that, one is Sam Coe, who you also encounter kind of early in the game. I don't want to spoil the other 2, I'll let you discover those for yourself. The AI is also very much improved in combat. For example, one thing I always had a quibble with in both Skyrim and Fallout 3 and every game that came after it up until now is that when you fought these enemies, their morale never broke. They kept fighting for, you know, even though they had maybe an avenue to get away, they'd stand there and fight with 1 hit point left and would fight to the death, every single one of them. In Starfield, that doesn't happen. If you hurt them bad enough, they will get demoralized and run away. If they get wounded enough, you can see people crawling away, and they'll try to heal themselves if they can, but they will crawl away from you. They take cover. They're much better at taking cover and trying to flank you. The reports I read early on said that this was Bethesda's least buggiest game ever, and I can verify that. I've had exactly 1 crash to desktop during the time I was playing this game, and that was in the ship design menu. There have been other weird bugs, like very early on I managed to luck into finding a stealth helmet, and I was wearing that for a while, and then for a while the stealth effect didn't go away, so I was walking around the city completely in civilian clothing, but completely stealthed out with the wavy, invisible graphics like the Chinese stealth suit. It looks kind of like that. And then for once I switched outfits, my body reappeared, but my head was invisible. So it's still got little weird glitches like that, but nothing game breaking very much. I'm running on a Series X, and I've seen a little bit of frame rate drop in really populated places in New Atlantis, but overall, it's a good looking game that runs very smoothly and very fast. There are a few skills, like so far the jump pack skill is one of those skills that you can actually improve by doing the thing. While you have to jump X amount of times in combat before you're able to unlock the next level. Likewise with lockpicking, if you want to get to the next level to unlock your level 2 lockpicking, you have to pick 5 locks and so on. So it's not, there is a repetitive performance part of it, but it's not like Skyrim where you just did the thing and you leveled up, which is, I really like that, and I wish they would do more of that, but it appears to be I'm in the minority there. So the big question, should you buy this game? Well, if you like space games, this is for you. It's not like I've played earlier this year, like in May and June, I played No Man's Sky because I was really fiending pretty hard for Starfield here. And No Man's Sky felt kind of empty. Even though the bases were well populated, it still felt kind of empty, especially once you got on planets. This game is not empty, and the ability that you have in No Man's Sky to fly from the planet into outer space and then across the universe was nice, but you really don't notice its lack here in Starfield. There's little loading screens that, you know, show your ship taking off and stuff. It doesn't feel like you're missing anything by not being able to pilot your ship straight off the planet and into space. But this game has been designed to be a mainstay for a very long time. It's definitely got some weight to it as far as the weight of like the quests and the meatiness and the things you can explore in this game. So it's built to be here for a long time. They're clearly going to devote a lot of assets to this. And if you're a PC player, congratulations, you've got mods already, and there's a bunch of mods that are already out. So take advantage of those. I have not seen them yet. I have not looked at any of those videos yet. And as of me recording this, the official word is that mods will come to Xbox once they're officially supported on PC. I don't know what officially supported means. You know, I'm going to assume it means something along the lines of, you know, that Bethesda's had enough time to vet them through on their servers to make sure that there's the same way they do with Fallout 4 and Skyrim. But there's no official release date for when that's going to happen yet. But if you do own a PC, I know that there's mods already out and you can explore what they can do. Once they have modding support for this game, it'll really have some legs under it. I fully expect more quest mods, although God knows why you'll need them. There's a ton in here already. But I expect to fully see, you know, Star Wars, Serenity, Star Trek mods, probably Battlestar Galactica, any space franchise you can think of will probably have at least a shipbuilding mod in it for that, if not the uniforms and guns as well. So yes, on a 10 scale, I would give this a solid 8 out of 10 in its current state. That's all I have for today, folks. If you enjoy this kind of thing, please give me a like and a subscribe. I could really appreciate it. And please leave a comment. Even if it's just to say you're following directions, I'd really appreciate that. That's all I have for now, guys. Thanks, and I'll see you soon.